Okay, filming this update might prove to be slightly impossible. We'll sort of see how it goes. So yes, so as you've probably seen my last two videos, I had quite a big life change and update, and as you may have guessed, at being able to post those things, my divorce is finalized finally. It was like mid-July, I think it finally got done, so that was good. Okay, so yes, I've had the baby. What I want to do is sort of like another life update. I have a Pugsley update. Then I wanted to talk about my birth a bit, and then sort of like how things have been since, you know, baby's been born. I think I filmed one video since she was born, and that was the Live Botanical video. And you actually could see her a little bit in the video. There was like, her head was peeking out over here because she was taking a nap while I was filming that video, and filming has been not something that I've been able to do since. And like I'm saying today, it might prove to be a little bit difficult, which is why I haven't really been around like with recent stuff, is just because we'll get into, well, you know, I'll give you my update. So yes, divorce is finalized. There's still some financial stuff that needs to be finished, and then that'll be done. And then, so let's see, there's that. Then Pugsley. So as I left it, we had just learned that Pugsley had heart failure. I think he had a follow-up appointment like 2 weeks after we first saw him. It was like the day of my original due date. We were supposed to take him in, and then we had taken him in just to see how his meds were doing, and it was like his regular vet, and they said to send him back to the emergency vet, but I wasn't going to do that just because we already knew what the situation was. And then they had given us some cardiologist names, so we ended up taking him to a cardiologist. They confirmed that the heart failure was pretty bad. They didn't really have like a time frame of when things could happen. We did another drain. We did another chest tap because the fluid had built up in his lungs again, or around his lungs, and it had been like 3.5 weeks since they'd first originally tapped his lungs. So they tapped him again, and we knew that this would sort of be like the last time we would do this. They gave us some heart medication to sort of try and help maybe slow the process, but it ended up being, I think, like 2 weeks later, he had like a massive, he was not doing well. We had found him like laying on the floor in the kitchen, and he like wouldn't leave the kitchen floor. He was panting, or was like breathing out of his mouth. So we had to make the really hard decision about a month and a half after his initial diagnosis to put him down, and that was, I cried a lot. It was really hard. I think about it too much now, I'm gonna cry again, but putting two animals down within like a year of each other, when I hadn't put another animal down, like 16 years prior was when I had put, you know, my last cat down, and then I had to put two down in the same, you know, within the same 12-month period, and it was, that was really hard, and especially Pugsley. You know, like I love Jill and Jesse, but there was something really special about Pugsley, and it devastated me. It still devastates me that happened to him. Especially like in the midst of being like, you know, a new mom again, and, you know, all the hormone stuff. Like I was already dealing with like enough emotional stuff, and, you know, having to put a cat down when my baby's like a month old, and it was really hard, but you know, that was almost 2 months ago now that we had to put him down. So, I mean, the house is quiet. I mean, like, it's not quiet, but the house is different now without him. You know, we talked about, you know, getting another kitten, but it's sort of just like finding timing, you know, finding the right kitten. We're not like actively looking or anything. Every once in a while, the Arizona Humane Society posts about, you know, like free adoption weekends or whatever, and I'll look through the animals, and I've seen a couple of cute ones, like, you know, that have pulled at my heartstrings a little bit, but, you know, not enough that we've ever gone down there to, like, you know, look at them. So that is like my, besides the baby, the major update is we lost Pugsley, and that's, I mean, it was really sad. It was while Oliver was, you know, gone for the summer, so I had to call him and tell him that we had to do this, like, without him being able to say goodbye to his, because it was his cat, basically. I mean, it was my cat, but it was his cat too, and so, I mean, that was really hard, and every once in a while, you know, he talks about missing Pugsley, and, you know, I miss Pugsley too, so that's hard. So there's that. Now we just have Jesse and Jill, and they're doing fine. They're, I think, what are they, 13 this year? 13 or 14, I can't remember, but, you know, they're still, I don't know, they're fine. They've always had some, like, respiratory stuff from when they were kittens, because they were both rescues. And, like, they sneeze a lot, and they've got, like, gunky eyes, and it's, like, it's normal for them. I've had them taken in, they're totally fine, but, like, they're fine. So I don't know how long we'll have them. Hopefully long, because I love all my animals. I hoped Pugsley, he was supposed to be a long-time cat. I loved him, but it just wasn't in the cards for him, I guess. So yeah, that's what we've got, the 2 cats and the dog for now. We are probably thinking about adding a kitten at some point, but it's just, you know, timing and everything. So there's that. That's my first update. Obviously, I have now had the baby because it is September. When I filmed those last 2 videos, it was May and then early June. So it's been quite a long time since I filmed those. So yes, I have had the baby. Next week, she will be 3 months. So it's been a while since I've had her. But I wanted to talk about, you know, my birth experience a little bit, because it was way different from Oliver, just like everything else, you know, like the whole pregnancy. I mean, the pregnancy itself was not that much different from Oliver, but, like, you know, the emotional support part of it was a lot different. You could hear her. She's laughing back there. We just started laughing, sort of, like, my boyfriend's gotten her to do it a couple of times. I've not produced the giggles that he produced, but he produced giggles a couple of times. So yeah, that's her newest thing, is that laughing is happening. Not a lot, but I'm sure it's coming. So I wanted to talk about my birth. So I had her at a birth center again. That was always the plan. I really liked my experience. I mean, I didn't like my experience having Oliver, because that was a lot. And like I said, again, the 2 experiences are way different. So my pregnancy was pretty uneventful. Like, I was healthy, you know, I had no issues. There was, you know, negative GBS, negative diabetes test. Everything was smooth. I kind of expected to go early, because people have said you can go early with your second baby. Plus my boyfriend's family, you know, talked about how big all the babies in his family were, and I was sort of expecting to go early and have, like, a giant baby. Again, not what happened. So let's see. I'd had Braxton Hicks for, like, a long time. I had been having Braxton Hicks, I think, since, like, sometime early 20 weeks. Because I knew what they were this time. When I was pregnant with Oliver, I did not know that I was having, like, Braxton Hicks contractions. I didn't know that's what they were. And then I had one in one of my appointments, and my nurse goes, "Oh, that was a Braxton Hicks." And I was like, "Oh, that's what that is? I've been having those for, like, weeks, and I had no idea what the heck it was." I thought it was just, like, the baby, you know, Oliver, like, moving around in there and stuff. But now I knew what they were, so I knew what to feel earlier. I knew that I felt it early. So, like, early 20s, I was having Braxton Hicks. So I was having Braxton Hicks, like, my entire pregnancy, basically. I started to get, like, I wouldn't say, like, painful contractions, but, like, more intense contractions, like, a month before she was born. So, like, I started to have, and not with any kind of frequency or anything, like, I would get a couple, and then I wouldn't have any for hours. I'd get a couple, not any for hours. Like, sometimes, like, a day would go by and I wouldn't have any. So, like, I was always sort of having, like, more intense contractions, but not, like, painful contractions. Not like what I was experiencing with Oliver. You know, so we're going through, we get to, you know, 39 weeks. I think I'd had an appointment a couple of days before she ended up being born. with Oliver, I went on 39/6, so it was the day before my estimated due date, and so this time around, so my boyfriend's mom was supposed to come into town a couple of days before she actually came into town, and there was some stuff that happened because she doesn't live in Arizona. Some stuff happened, you know, with her before she was able to get out here, so she was like, "Don't you have that baby without me?" But so then she came out, so we were like worried that, you know, I might, because I kept thinking I was going to go early, so I was like, oh, well, I might have this baby before she gets here. What happens if, you know, then, but whatever. Obviously she waited. So we had I had like a pool with my sister and like about like when the baby was going to come. I thought she was going to come early, and then she didn't. So then like we get to 39/5 and I'm like, this baby's not coming like anytime soon. Cause like nothing felt like it was happening anytime soon. I had like no indications. Like when I went into labor with Oliver, I woke up at 4:30 in the morning and I just knew. I didn't really have that feeling this time around. So like, even though I was having sort of like more intense contractions, it didn't feel like, you know, this is baby anything. So my boyfriend's mom gets there Sunday night. Sunday, she finally got into town, and there was no signs that a baby's coming. You know, I'm having the same sort of like intense contractions, but not like painful and not like it feels like labor. So then Monday I worked because I'm planning on working. I planned to work up until the baby was born, which I did with Oliver. I actually worked through labor a little bit with Oliver because it, you know, it was taking a little while. So I worked all day. I did my normal shift thinking nothing is happening. So like, I'm not having this baby today. I think somebody had asked me that morning too, like, are you planning on working until the baby's born? And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to take off early. Like, I don't want to waste the time. So I worked all day. My boyfriend worked that day. He got through the whole day. So it's like, it's 4 o'clock. I think I'd had a phone call with my sister. I was sort of like walking around because I was feeling these like intense contractions, but again, not painful. I'm able to walk through them. I'm able to talk through them. There's no like regularity to them. They're like, they would stop for, you know, a few hours and then they would come on again and then they would stop. So I think technically I was really in labor like all day and not realizing it because I wasn't feeling like I was feeling, you know, with Oliver, where like I knew, like I just started to get them that morning and then they never stopped. Like they weren't, you know, frequent, but they were not stopping. These ones, there was no like timing them because it didn't feel like it. So we're planning, I'm like, we got to figure out dinner. So we're ordering a pizza. We're figuring out what to eat that day. So I think at 5:30 we put the pizza order in. My boyfriend's planning on picking up the pizza, going to Cinnaholic with his mom because like I had an intense craving for their brownies like pretty much my entire pregnancy. So like I ate a lot of Cinnaholic brownies. So that happened. So at 5:30, I'm still getting these sort of like random contractions, no real regularity to them. So we order dinner. I'm thinking this is what it is. I'm not having this baby again today. So 5:30, we order food. About 6 o'clock, they leave to go get the food. And then I start, like the minute they walk out the door, I start to feel like pain. Like I'm starting to feel like painful contractions. So I get in the shower and I'm like, I'm just gonna, cause I'm getting sweaty. So it's also hot. It's like mid-June. So like it was hot. So like I'm getting sweaty. And so I get in the shower and I'm in there and like things are getting more painful and more regular. And so I get out of the shower, things are getting more painful and more regular, and I start timing them at this point. I think around like 6:30 I start timing them because I'm like, this is craziness because they're starting, like they're so painful I'm starting to cry. But like I'm still breathing through them and I'm not screaming or like making any kind of noise or anything. I'm just sort of like, I'm hunched over like countertops and tables and I'm just sort of like, you know, struggling through them. It's kind of like what I'm doing. But like they immediately start coming on fast. So like all day I'd been having like sort of intense contractions, but not painful. I'm able to walk through them, talk through them, breathe through them. It's just sort of more intense Braxton Hicks is what it feels like to me. And then starting at 6 p.m., I'm starting to get these like super painful, regular, you know, like contractions, like real, like they feel like real contractions this time. So I start timing them and like immediately they're already 2 minutes apart. So like I'm going 2 minutes apart immediately. So at 6:30, I call my midwife, and I'm like, because they, you know, they tell you 411, so they want you to be having contractions 4 minutes apart, at least a minute long for an hour. So like, I've been timing them for half an hour, and I'm like, I'm not even having them 4 minutes apart, I'm having them 2 minutes apart. So I call my midwife, I'm like, and I'm like breathing heavy. I'm like, what is, like, is this a hard and fast rule, this 411? Like, I'm telling her what's going on. I'm like, I'm having them like 2 minutes apart. And she's like, I can hear you struggling through them. Like, go ahead and, or like, I told them that my boyfriend had went out to go get dinner, and I'm like, what do I do? And so she's like, call your boyfriend and then, you know, call us back and we'll make a plan to, you know, for you to come in sooner than later, because it sounds like you're really, you know, it's intense. So I call my boyfriend at like 6:40, I think. And I'm like, where are you? And he's like, I'm 2 minutes away. And I'm like, you need to get home right now. Cause like, I feel it's like, it's happening. And so obviously it did not take him 2 minutes. It took him like 10. And I'm like, you lied to me. So then he gets home. I'm like struggling through these contractions. So he calls the midwife back, and we make a plan to meet there at like 7:30, because they have to get there. Nobody's at the birth center. So it's like 7-ish. So it's like 7-ish by the time he gets home, and we're planning to meet there at like 7:30. So we get in the car. I mean, it's only 10 minutes away. So I think, so I'm standing there and I'm struggling. Or maybe he gets home, I don't remember, because we got to the birth center at 7:30. So like the plan was to meet there at 7:30, and we got there like at 7:30. So I don't remember what happened in between like 7 and like, maybe we left at 7:15. I don't remember. Like, I don't remember how long it took or like what time we did things. Oh no, because, you know, my boyfriend ate a piece of pizza before we left. We got like the stuff together. We almost forgot the car seat because we were like trying to rush out of there because like I was in like a lot of pain and things were happening. So I think we finally got out of there at like 7:15, and then like the drive over, things are getting like way more intense. Like the contractions are like on top of each other. I'm not getting a break. I'm finally making noise like in the car. I didn't do it at home because Oliver's home. You know, like I didn't want to scare him or anything. Not that I would have, but so we're like in the car, I'm making a ton of noise because I'm just like, I'm in a lot of pain. The contractions they're not letting up. They're just like one after the other after the other. I'm not getting a break. And like, at this point, I'm like, why did we think this was a good idea? Like, why are we doing this? Why am I doing this again? Those are the things that I'm saying, like in the car, in like this very short drive it took us to get there. It was like 10, 15 minutes, not that long at all. So we get there at 7:30. And like, I'm struggling to get in the building because like the contractions are like on top of each other. It's like, I'm having trouble walking. They have to like carry me into the building. So we had talked about like if I wanted to labor in the tub at all. And I had said that like, like that's something that I might want to do. But if I give birth in the tub, if I do, if I don't, I don't. Like I didn't have any plans. Like I don't have like a birth plan. It's just have the baby at the birth center. That's really that's my birth plan. With no interventions, things like that. So, you know, we get in there, we get into the room that I picked. They start the tub because we think that might be what I want to do. They have no idea like timing, like where I'm at. So, I get there, they check me, and I'm there. She's like, you have no cervix left. Like I had labored, I'd gotten to 10 before I even got to the birth center. And like somehow, like and it's weird because it didn't feel like it did with Oliver. Like I felt every hour of like the transition period, and like, cause it was intense with Oliver. And not like it wasn't intense with her, but it was just so much quicker. And it was weird because like, it was so freaking fast. So we get there at 7:30, I'm already 10, and they're like, if you feel like you need to start pushing, just push. So like, I'm basically walking in the door pushing is like what I'm doing basically. So I think I have a few contractions, and then I'm like, I feel like I need to pee, like what should I do? Because I'm like, so there's, in the room that I picked, there's like a bed and there is the tub. So I've decided I'm squatting in front of the bed is like how I felt like I needed to be. Like I didn't get on the bed to labor. I just like, I get in the room and I immediately like squat to the floor, and like that's what I'm doing. I'm like pulling at the sheets with every contraction. I'm like screaming. They're telling me don't scream, get like low, like do low grunting or whatever. And so like I'm, trying to get through that. And my boyfriend's like helping me through it. He's there. He's, you know, holding on to me. He's like telling me what a good job I'm doing. I'm sure he's like, what the hell's going on? This is his first kid. So he did not have other children, you know, prior to us getting together. So, so yes, I'm in the room. I'm at a 10. And they're telling me, you know, push if I need to push. So then, like, I think, like I said again, a few contractions in, I go, I feel like I need to pee. What should I do? Because, like, there was no way I was getting to a bathroom at that point. Like, I couldn't even walk. I could barely use my legs anymore. So then I was like, what do I do? What do I do? And then, like, 5 seconds later, my water breaks. So I was like, oh, okay, well, that handles that then. So I don't need to do anything. Which is different too, because like with Oliver, he like pushed my bladder in a certain way. Cause like I didn't pee the whole time I was in labor with Oliver. And, I ended up getting like really massive UTIs that didn't let up for like 12 weeks, which was so fun. But luckily I did not have that problem this time. So yes, my water breaks. I'm like 5 minutes in the door, maybe 10. I don't know how much time things took, but like I'm in the door at 7:30. Okay. So like I'm squatting, my water breaks. So I'm like that position for a few more minutes, and then they tell me, cause I'm pushing. So they tell me to turn around. So like they have me turn, so I'm facing out, and they give me like a stool to sit on. So like I'm still squatting, but I'm sitting, and this is how they want me, or like this is what felt right. Cause like when I was like squatting at the end of the bed, my legs were like giving out, and like obviously I can't give birth like with the way that I was positioned. So they had to move me so that way I can actually like push the baby out, because otherwise she would have just like landed on the floor, because my legs weren't working. So they turned me around. My boyfriend's behind me, and so I'm just like, I'm grabbing on his like sweatpants the whole time, through every contraction and like every time that I push. So by the time they turned me around, I think only like 5 minutes later, I had her. So from like the start of what like actually felt like labor, like what I probably was laboring all day, but it didn't really feel like it. It was like 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. baby was born. So I walk in the door of the birth center at 7:30. I had the baby at 8 on the dot. So it was fast and it was intense. And honestly, if I had 10 babies, I wish every labor would be like this. So I guess there's a name for it, which I didn't know. It's like precipitous labor or something like that, where like labor is under 3 hours or something like that. I didn't know. I looked it up later because I was like, that was just crazy. But yeah, apparently this happens, you know, it happens. You know, everybody's labor time is different, and I was not expecting to have like an extremely short labor. So we left at 7, and then we got home at 11 with a baby. So yeah, I had the baby at 8. You know, I laid in bed for a while. I ate some stuff, and then they, you know, had me go pee and like rinse off and clean off and stuff like that. Whew. They had to make sure that I could pee before I leave, which took a little bit, but I was able to do it. So there was no catheter involved this time, no UTIs, thank the Lord. I did tear a little bit again. I think about as much as I tore the last time, but it was like they were able to stitch me clean back up. And then by the time my 6-week checkup came, everything was healed and the stitches were all dissolved and everything like that. So that was good. So like I didn't feel it this time. I felt it when I tore with Oliver. Like I felt that. I didn't feel it this time, really. I don't know if it was because maybe she was a little bit smaller, which was again also surprising. So Oliver was 8 pounds something when he was born. I think maybe it was like 8'4". I can't remember exactly what he was. She was 6'14", which was shocking. She was tiny. I was not expecting to have such a tiny baby. I only gained about 40 to 45 pounds. I don't know exactly where I finally ended up, but I gained a lot less than I did with Oliver. I've lost most of it. There's still, I guess okay, so in regards to weight, I think I got up to about like 163. As of this morning, I'm like 132. So my lowest before I got pregnant, I was 117, dealing with all like the divorce and stress stuff. So I got pretty low. I was really tiny. And then I think by the time I got pregnant, I was somewhere between 120 and like 122, depending on the day. So I think I might have gained around 40 pounds really from like pregnancy, like from before I got pregnant to like the end. And so I'm 132 this morning. I would like to lose at least another like 5 pounds. I'm not looking to get back to 117 because that was not like intentional. I was not intending to lose that amount of weight. I lost 30 pounds after, you know, the whole divorce thing. And I lost it really quickly. So if I lose like another 5 pounds, like I'll be happy. Like I'm fitting into not pre-pregnancy stuff, obviously, because I was a size 2. Now I'm like a size 6. I'm in between a 4 and a 6. So like I'm not a 4, but I'm not a 6. I'm in between. So if I could get back to a 4 comfortably, that's kind of where I want to be. But like, I'm not like, for having had 2 babies by 37, I'm feeling like pretty good about myself at the moment. But yeah, there's still a few pounds that I'd like to lose. So yes, so we left the birth center by 11, got home, Oliver got to meet her. Was a little bit overwhelmed at first just because it was new, and you know, she screams. She is loud. She is so loud. For like the first week of life, she had like this eagle screech. It was adorable. I wish we had filmed it. We did not. But yeah, but she is loud. She's very, she's extremely loud. She lets you know that she's here. So yeah, very fast labor. I would want a short labor again. Like it's intense, especially because it comes on so fast. And it was just like the contractions are on top of each other. But like, honestly, it was a lot better than like doing that for 17 hours. Like having those kinds of contractions for that long. Like I felt like I wanted to die when I was, you know, having Oliver. And like the worst thing I think I said when I was in labor with her was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like I was like grabbing the blankets and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like every time I felt a contraction coming on, I was like, please no, I don't want to do this. Like that was the worst of what I said. Like there was no like, please kill me, I want to die. None of that this time. But yeah, so like it was fast and intense, but the recovery has been so much better this time around than with Oliver. Like one, I didn't have the UTI. I also didn't have like as much tearing, I think, as with Oliver. So I wasn't in bed for as long as I was with Oliver. I was able to start like, I actually spent the time in bed that they tell you to. I think, you know, with Oliver, because I was alone a lot in the beginning. It was harder for me to recover because I had to do so much by myself. But this time, you know, my boyfriend works from home, so he's able to help me. You know, his mom and his grandma were here for like a week after she was born, so that was really helpful. So I was able to just like focus on resting and like healing and stuff like that, and you know, breastfeeding. It's going smoothly now. But it definitely was work. You know, my milk came in on day 3 and I was like extremely engorged. It was painful. And then I had like a blister problem and like, yeah, she's gonna start laughing now. I had a blister problem. They were like cracking and bleeding. I was like dying every time I had to nurse her. Like I was crying, thinking about the next time I had to feed her because I was like, this hurts so bad. It was like, so much worse than I ever had it with Oliver. All right. I was, interrupted and I don't remember what I was saying. I think I was talking about breastfeeding. Anyway, it was hard the first few weeks, but we've gotten through it and things are fine now. Okay, I'm gonna try to wrap this up because this is like next to impossible. So yes, I think again, I was talking about breastfeeding. I don't know. I was gonna tell you guys about my favorite like breastfeeding bras. Maybe I'll do a separate video. I don't know, or I'll leave a link below for like my favorite ones. But there are 2 from 2 different companies. I tried a bunch from the Little Milk Barn and then Bodily have like my 2 favorite, like most comfortable nursing bras. From the Little Milk Company, especially, those are like extremely comfortable. I love those things. I've bought 7 of them. I love them. I'll wear them even after pregnancy. Like they're super comfortable. I mean, after breastfeeding, which I did 31 months with Oliver. We'll see how long I go with her, especially because we are still undecided on a 3rd kid. We talk about it sometimes, but like right now, obviously we don't want a 3rd kid right now. Or at least like pregnant again, like, you know what I mean? So we've said we'd talk about it in another year, because I told him I want to be absolutely done having babies, regardless of how many we have, like before 40. So like once I'm 40, I'm done. Because I'll be old. So I want to make sure that, I'm still young enough for my kids. So it would mean like within a year, or like in a year, we would have to talk about it and plan. Because then I'll be 38 and then, have the baby by 39, or I don't know. We'll think about it. I don't know that I don't really feel like strongly one way or the other. Like, sure, like I think I'd be fine. I'd be fine if we had 2, but if we had 1 more, I don't think it would be the worst thing in the world. But I don't feel like right now, I don't feel like this pull to have more, you know what I mean? Where some people are like, I'm not done having babies yet. I'm like, I could be done, I could be not done, I don't know. Depends how we feel in a year. Like, how our life is going and things like that. And financially, does the 3rd kid make sense? Because, things get a lot harder. The more kids you have, it's like traveling and, bigger car, bigger house, all that stuff. So like even now, I'm keeping my house. Space-wise, we are pretty cramped with the 2 of us working from home, plus the 2 kids now. So right now she's in a bassinet in our room, which again has also been very different from what I did with Oliver, because like I co-slept with him until my boyfriend moved in. Basically, he stopped sleeping with me once my boyfriend moved in with me, and then his room became his room. He's got a cool bed in there, and it's like his space. Where before it was just a room with a bed in it before. Yeah. So with her, we did co-sleep for the first, I would say like month and a half. But for the last month, we've been making a very active effort to make sure that she sleeps the whole night in her bassinet. Which she's taken to it really, really well. So she didn't take it to begin with, but like once we started like implementing a routine, so now we do, at a specific time, we do bath time, then I come in here and I nurse her and put her to sleep. She goes in the bassinet, she's down for 10 to 12 hours. She doesn't wake up. Yeah, but during the day, it's totally different, totally different. She does not nap well. She needs to be held constantly, rocked a very specific way. The daytimes are hard, daytimes are difficult, but nighttime, she's great. So I guess you get one or the other, right? So she sleeps, last night she slept 12 hours. She slept a 12-hour stretch last night, didn't wake up. Yeah, right now we're losing it. We're losing it. So, yes. I wanted to talk more, I guess, about her, but maybe I'll do that in another video if I have time. So because, she has been a much more like a hands-on needy baby, like putting her down for a nap is next to impossible. Like with Oliver, I would put him down, he'd be down for 2 to 3 hours, and he was great. I put her down, she's awake in 10 minutes. Like for her to get a decent nap, she has to be sleeping on me. So, yeah, I thought I was gonna have a lot more time, during my maternity leave to do videos and stuff like that, but it looks like this is going to be very sporadic when and if I do, make videos that aren't about life updates. But yeah, I wanted to give this last update, talk about her, my birth experience, how things have been different, breastfeeding, things like that. I think really those are like the main points that I wanted to hit, because we are getting closer to bedtime. So we need to go do our bath routine and then, get ready for bed. Yeah. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yeah. So, yes. But like I said, again, it's going to be very different than with Oliver. She's not going to be making like a major appearance here, but she's here today because I wanted to do this update video, and I could not get her to nap. She took one nap in the car today, because I went down to the Social Security office to try to get my name changed, but it was friggin' busy, so I turned around and went back home. But she napped for me in the car, but since we've been home, she's been fighting it. She's just not a great napper, and it's difficult. It's difficult. Yeah. 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 But she's happy. She's a happy baby. So the thing that is different about her, and very, very weird, she's So me and my boyfriend both have brown eyes. I was expecting a brown-eyed baby. She's got blue eyes. She has these like intense blue eyes. And we don't know yet if they're gonna change because they haven't changed at all. I've heard that that can happen sometimes, like babies are born with blue eyes and then their color changes, but so far, she's almost 3 months and there's been no change. There's no like even that they might turn green or hazel or something like that, so we might have a blue-eyed baby. I don't know. If any of your kids have been born with blue eyes and then their eyes changed, when did that happen? But yeah, she's got blue eyes right now and it's a little cray-cray. But yeah, so my days are busy. I've got about 6.5 weeks left of maternity leave. I'm dreading going back to work. I really don't want to. So yeah, we've just been sort of hanging out. It's been too hot to do anything, so we've just been hanging out. You know, Oliver goes to school and then, you know, we sort of nap a lot, sort of. If I nap with her, she'll nap. So sometimes I get a nap in. You know, I've been reading when I can, just sort of hanging out. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Yeah. That's what we're doing. It is. Yeah. But she's a very happy baby. She's very loved. I love watching my boyfriend with her. He's amazing. Like if you didn't get that from my other video, he's like a great human being, he's a great dad. He is very active. He's very, very hands-on, very like, he plays a major role, like as he should, but you know, different experiences. But he's a great dad. I love watching him with her. It just like, I just fall more in love with him. Every single day that I watch them together, they just like, they smile at each other. She loves him so much. She's only laughed for him. Did I mention that? She's only laughed for him. So she definitely loves him more than she loves me, even though, who feeds you? Who feeds you? Yeah, I do. I do. I do. You're gonna give me giggles eventually. But yeah, she's very loved by his family. His mom just like loves her to death. So yes, it's been great. It's been hard, a lot of work, and there have definitely been moments where we've looked at each other and been like, I don't want to do this again. Like this sucks, and it does. Like the newborn stage, while like they're cute, it sucks. It's hard. It's hard work. It's like I've cried a lot, but like I've definitely loved. I definitely feel like I got a better newborn experience this time around. I feel like for a lot of reasons, my newborn experience with Oliver was like ruined. It was not what I wanted it to be. And like even with her, even though it's been hard, it's been very, very hard because she's very high maintenance. She's very needy. It's still been a better experience just because of like the emotional support and just like who my partner is, and all that. So Oliver loves her. He's great with her too. He can't wait for her to be bigger because he wants to play with her more, but obviously she's like a potato. She doesn't even roll around right now. So, but yes, I'm gonna have to get going because we need to start getting ready for, you know, bed and stuff like that. So I wanted to give you guys this big update, let you know things are good. I am still here, but I don't know how often I'll be around. I'm not going to be on any kind of schedule. It's just going to be sort of like when and if I'm able. Like, I really would love to continue to do this, but it might not be sort of like in the life plan anymore. Where, like I said before, like I was doing this to connect with people because I was not connecting with who I was supposed to be connecting with at home. Which now that's not an issue because I connect with my partner and we love spending time together. We spend every free moment together. So like there's that, like I want to be spending all of my time with him and not, you know, doing anything else. With Oliver too, obviously, you know, spending time together as a family. So I don't know what this is going to look like, especially because she's so high maintenance. Like I'm not able to just like put her down for a nap and like have a couple of free hours. It's just, sometimes she'll do that, but not very often. Like yesterday, I think she took one good nap for me and I was able to just like relax and just like read for a couple of hours, but she doesn't do that all the time. Some days she will fight the nap the whole day. She'll take like 10 minute spurts here and there. Like she kind of did that today. She took very short naps today. But she's gonna sleep 12 hours for me tonight, so I guess that's the trade-off. So anyway, I don't know where I stand here. I will be here when I can, because definitely I would still love to do this, but my life just might be taking a different direction, you know, with everything, and especially once I go back to work, I don't know what the heck that's gonna look like, you know, yet. I really don't want to go back to work, but so anyway, but yeah, I'm still here. I will still be around. Like, you know, I'm always on Instagram, even though I might start posting stories again. Maybe I'll just start showing you like stuff, maybe stuff I'm using, little life clips and things like that. Like I've been sharing stuff about her, like in my close friends and stuff like that. So like people know I'm like, certain people know that I'm still around, but for the most part, I'm not really doing much on, you know, the internet these days. And it might stay like that. I don't know. I have plans, things I want to do, but I'm guessing people figure I'm not going to be, I've lost, I don't know, like 30 plus subscribers since since I announced, I did my pregnancy announcement video, or like my life update video, so now people think I'm probably not going to be around. I don't know, that's okay. That's okay. If you leave, I don't blame you. But yeah, I'll pop in when I can. If you ever want to chat, I'm always in Instagram DMs. Yeah, so we're gonna go. So thanks for hanging out with us for a little bit. And we will see you when we see you. Or I'll see you when I see you. I don't know when that'll be. So, bye.